आ चुका है नेट रिकनेक्शन सक्सेसफुल। यूट्यूब खुल चुका है गाइस, खुल रहा है यूट्यूब। खुल गया है यूट्यूब। लेट्स गो and enjoy.
Start to die down a little bit as teams head on over towards that early game, that mid game. I'd say that probably kicks in around about 12, 13 minutes here on Rondo, but it can kick in a lot later, as we've seen in previous PMSLs where things get really dicey the entire time. The question is whether it's really worth it or not, and I think teams haven't quite figured that part out yet. I think there's still decisions to be made whether to send 3 in, get some points here and there, and just send one out towards the center of the circle.
Guys,
there's decisions from certain teams. I mean, Papa Supermassive did this where they actually profited quite a lot off of Rondo individually by playing a 4-man all the way through to the end game. They never really participated in those early fights, but they were still getting a lot of big points, because by the time they got towards 80 minutes where they were stacked, they were looted, they were ready to roam around as 4, there was still around 50 players in the lobby. So you still have a lot of time to pick up those points.
Absolutely. Right now, I'm looking on the map at Ragnarkaya blank in the middle. And they are on a 2-2 split, currently looking at 2 recall beacons, and one of them just went up massively in value. I'm expecting that they've regrouped to the east now. No real reason to stay on that western side one. Get a move on, because you know that recall is so valuable for you. Kaya wants to keep that one under control. Alpha 7 still has 2, by the way, in the northwest side. And they are now near Virtus Pro. R8, they feel like, you know what, 6 points is enough. We'll crack on, lads. See you guys later. You'll stick around as 2 in the blue.
I mean, for Alpha 7, that second fight was really poor. The vision, they were going to try and clear up the fight from there for R8 and deal with them. Unfortunately, there was a quick response from their side, and suddenly Alpha 7's plans get massively cut to shreds. Now they're sat on the outside edge, trying to move in. Real difficult
Where is OG, guys?
to make. I mean, they're passing through VP as well, and they sort of have to make a straight shot towards the circle if they want to catch a recall beacon in time and still have a chance to get some loot on board before you're transitioning towards those late game fights. I think it's tough for Alpha 7. I don't think that this initial match is going to go all that well for them whatsoever. Good shot from CEO over towards Soldus. Real quick put down from him.
Yeah, Kara, remember, they lost a player earlier, and so they are staying as 3. They didn't break out to go for that recall. That's what I was talking about. Even though they are still available, they're kind of trapped in now. So Madballs being able to find that opener, really very valuable. And it looks like they are still under caution, but CEO, as you saw there, getting that knock over to Solus. That should be fairly resable. Uh-oh. Hoser has to live under the cover fire of his teammates there, as Lemon nearly takes him down out of the rotate.
It's one of those tough things, and it's a good point to bring up, is that if you're knocked and flushed towards the center of the circle, typically you're not getting that player back up again. But there's also that thing that's talking to you in the back of your head, right? The evil voice that sometimes you get. That tells you that maybe you could go for one of the recall beacons. I think that is something that you had to kind of have to disconnect from your mindset in these games. If you're going down towards center, you have to play on as 3. Yes, there's a possibility you can play on as 4, but does that possibility pose more risks? Most likely. So I think that teams do struggle with this idea of making those bold plays. I think if you go down to 1 or 2 players, I think it's absolutely fine to try and go for one of those maneuvers. It's probably not going to work out, but if it does, you salvage the game off the back of it. But I think playing as 3 is absolutely fine if you are center.
Ooh, nades over the top. This is Kara down to 2 now as Wolves took their 3rd player out. So it's just Lewis breach, gives him a little bit more time to play with. Teams are going to be leaving from around them, so not too much danger of third party as nades start to bounce on in, and he goes down to the bombardment in the basement. Too much to handle. CEO, you're fired.
Given the old basketball maneuver there as well, bounced it off the floor into his face. I love that nade. You don't see those all that often. This is very messy right now. And I mean, we didn't really talk about the circle too much, but this has shifted over towards the eastern side. There is a lot of space down towards the southern edge of Yeongu right now on Jidana City that is available. This circle could push towards as well. Most teams are sat down towards Tulang right now on the south side. Huge amount of water involved. It's a very uncomfortable circle, very uncomfortable, and you can tell that just by this terrain that you're looking at right here. Divots to play in, small defiles you can set up, but other than that, very rough to use the destructible terrain to your advantage, right? Being able to bomb out some of these areas with the nades, create those small craters is going to be very useful. More so than this is having buildings like GS. That does make your life a lot easier.
Yeah, that's a big advantage right now, coming in through on that south side, a little bit closer to Tuling. I think the teams on the south are going to have a little bit cleaner of a time for now, but I think as things move forwards, it is the teams further up towards the north where Thundertalk were playing before, and well, actually where DXavier are trying to send towards right now. You can see they're trying to get around the edge of this one, regroup onto Lambor, who is their northmost, they're 3 players behind, and they are sending it forwards. They managed to find a sliver through. This is good scout on the coastline and a nice little plateau.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. And for DXavier as well, there's always this chance to move over towards that northeast side and try and cross the water if the circle does shift towards the northeast. It's there's a chance there. I'm not going to say it's like a startlingly large possibility, but it is one of those positions you do need to be aware of, which is quite like DRX's spot. They haven't set themselves up for a massive elim game, but should the circle move over towards the eastern side, they have the bridge to work around, and also they could just gatekeep if they wanted to, and that's where they could pick up a lot of eliminations in the chaos and the panic that ensues after a circle like that. But aside with DXavier, well, maybe I do need to talk about it. Completely undefined, right? Completely undefined. I'd say it was slightly more over towards that northeastern side in terms of land. But yeah, I think that you pretty much have to stick to your guns here. If you're out for 7, you are having a great time off the back of this. Mad Bulls moving into Geek. Very bad stuff here happening for them. But luckily, Flip's on the outside. Wonderful off-angle player, but then he's got 2 enemies to deal with here in front of him. Safji and Ragnarok. See what Flip can get done here. He's very good when it comes to the clutches, usually, for Mad Bulls.
Oh, Ragnarok rolls on in and finds the 2 players. So I think there might have been 3 on the middle there for the Mad Bulls. Flip with a nade on in, looking to try and stop Ragnarok from doing any more damage here. But the rest of his team has melted. He might be an off-angle player, but now he is the angle. And we'll have to try and find something. Nice. A real big re-knock there as Ragnarok actually has to send around the edge. But fortunately, here's Kowtow down behind as Regnum Kaya chime into the fight. There's off angles everywhere, Blank. This is the messy area we were talking about. This northern road, so difficult.
That's a bold push. Very bold push from Flip here. He's been taking a little bit of damage from behind, hoping this nade goes through. Regnum Kaya completely stymieing his approach. I think it's a very smart play from Ragnarok as well to immediately switch back over towards the rest of the team. It put the pressure on Flip in a big way where he had to speed up his gameplay, accelerate a little bit because it meant his teammates dying. And Ragnarok might just get... I think getting the full team res is going to be a bit difficult. Maybe if he cleaned this up slightly sooner. There's a slight indecision here, and now Regnum KAIF should be able to clean up the pieces nice and easily.
There we go. They are indeed eliminated. Regnum KAIF now up to 5 elims. They've lost one of their players, but there's still plenty of firepower for them to play with, and 5 points, it's not a bad game. By any stretch. Now we head over to the route out of Jejina City, the bridge mouth here where Arena have sat. DRX were up in the buildings for a long time, and now they want to exert more control over the area and get past this Arena blockade on this northeast side. But R8 are pushing in from the west. They're already up to 7 elims. Like, they've had a hot start to the game and they want to continue, taking out Hyunbin like it's nothing.
Hyunbin going down is pretty problematic. I mean, Hyunbin's probably one of DRX's better players as well. So him going out early there is pretty tough. Soaz now has a very, very big task ahead of him. But I would say that, you know, probably second best on the team here for the squad. Is able to take out one, making this into a 3v3 versus R8. Now, R8 could continue the warpath here since taking down the Brazilian squad in Alpha 7. Look to push out now. There is enemies all around, though.
Ooh, giving them the quick start steps, but it's not going to phase them at all. R8 have been through the ringer already, and they know the tricks of the trade. They'll move up to the north side now because Arena are struggling against one. They're getting mashed up across the road. What on earth just happened over there? R8, the major profit makers, though, on this engagement on the south side with IQ over the horizon. They continue to push up north.
Yeah, I mean, disgusting Molotov going through from QXZ. He's able to find a lot of damage. Luckily, Prestige is able to move around the side, get the backstab, but he was putting up a valiant fight. Well, I don't know what to say here. This is such an evil circle to start off the day. In fact, just to start off PMGC in general. And Alpha 7 get incredibly lucky with this one. I think that's the play you have to make if you're a two-man squad, is you head to the unknown side of the map, which in this case is northeast. But they get so lucky this continuing to be in the circle in stage 5. I mean, by stage 5, you're usually assuming the circle to pick one of two land masses to go to. But because this has been so central each time, the algorithm basically just says, well, we just have to split.
Yeah, it's a real nasty circle right now, and I mean, at the